6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Lakshman Fonseca and read by Mario Vijayawardena. The headlines. The Prime Minister says the government is fully committed to support Dhamma school teachers. The main official ceremony to commence work for the year 2023 will be held at the Presidential Secretariat premises tomorrow. A haul of medicinal drugs brought to Sri Lanka illegally taken into possession. The government is to recruit 26,000 teachers in March. The National Water Supply and Drainage Board says a large number of consumers are not paying their bills on time. In foreign news, fireworks and street parties in cold weather as the UK celebrates the start of 2023. In sports news, Sri Lanka Cricket has offered a one-year extension to Mahela Jayawardena as consultant coach. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says the government is fully committed to support Dhamma school teachers to take their services constantly. The Prime Minister said all Dhamma schools run amid various issues. The government is fully aware about these matters, the Prime Minister added. The Prime Minister made these remarks at a function held at the Narayanpeta Abhayarama temple today. The Prime Minister also said both the Mahasangha and the Dhamma education have helped the country to maintain Buddhism in the country. The main official ceremony to commence work for the year 2023 will be held at 9 a.m. tomorrow at the Presidential Secretariat premises. The Public Administration and Home Affairs Ministry says at all government institutions they have to conduct this program concurrently to the main ceremony. The ministry added, singing the national anthem after hoisting the national flag, observing a 2-minute silence to commemorate war heroes and others who have sacrificed their lives for the country will mainly be in the agenda. Thereafter, reading aloud the oath of public servants will be done before the respective heads of the institution. The ministry also said a brief motivational speech should be made on the requirement of committed contributions to the public service to achieve the government's policy and action plan. A haul of medicinal drugs brought to Sri Lanka illegally have been taken into possession, with 2 suspects taken into custody. The drugs were about to be distributed throughout the island, the police said. The National Medicines Regulatory Authority had received the information about the drugs and had taken immediate measures to raid the location. The authority said the worth of the haul of drugs is over 10 million rupees. The Chief Controller of Food and Drugs Medicines Regulatory Authority, Amit Pereira, said the drugs have been imported from Turkey, India, Italy and several other countries. Further investigations are being carried out, he added. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Education Minister Dr. Susil Premajayan says the government will recruit 26,000 teachers in March. He says the teachers will be incorporated into the Sri Lanka Teachers Service from the Development Assistant Officers through a competitive examination. The examinations will be held this month, the minister said. Nearly 6,000 trainee teachers who have passed out from the National Colleges of Education after completing their year teacher training courses will also be recruited to schools in remote areas, the Education Minister said. Select candidates will be given appointments as teachers from March 24, 2023. The minister said all school heads will be trained this year for the smooth functioning of schools under UNICEF program and 150 million rupees will be allocated for training purposes. The National Water Supply and Drainage Board says a large number of consumers are not paying their water bills on time. The board said the amount of money defaulted is estimated to be approximately 100 million rupees. The board added, among the bill defaulters are some powerful politicians, VIPs, government institutions, leading private firms and religious places. The Additional General Manager Recoveries of the board, Veerasinghe Ekanayaka, said the supply connection of some of these water bill defaulters whose water bills exceed 500,000 rupees have already been disconnected. He added that legal documents have already been submitted to the AG's department to sue more than 2,000 bill defaulters. The National Election Commission says voter registers for the local government election is on display at each local authority for inspection. The NEC said lists are on display for perusal free of charge during office hours. The Commission also states that returning officers have already taken steps to display notifications in this regard to all local authorities.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The main official ceremony to commence work for the year 2023 will be held at 9 a.m. tomorrow at the Presidential Secretariat premises. The Public Administration and Home Affairs Ministry says at all government institutions they have to conduct this program concurrently to the main ceremony. The ministry added, singing the national anthem after hoisting the national flag, observing 2 minutes of silence to commemorate war heroes and others who have sacrificed their lives for the country will mainly be in the agenda. Thereafter, reading aloud the oath of public servants will be done before the respective heads of the institution.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu Pradeva.
And now in Watchlight, health professionals warn that the state health sector will be plunged into further crisis in the new year with the outward migration of young specialists. They said the compulsory retirement of specialists at the age of 60 years will also have consequences. Specialities such as cardiothoracic surgery would die off in Sri Lanka by the end of this decade with this double hit, they say. An analysis has revealed that the present cadre of consultant cardiothoracic surgeons is 27. However, there are only 18 consultants currently in 5 hospitals across the country.
World News, brought to you by courtesy of...
We give you the strength to rise higher and higher.
Never step back, but always march forward.
Empowering you to reach greater heights. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
In world news headlines, fireworks and street parties at cold weather as the UK celebrates the start of 2023. Zelensky tells Russians, Putin is destroying you all. Twitter in data protection probe after 400 million user details up for sale. The UK has celebrated the new year with firework displays and street parties for the first time fully since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. Despite wet weather, partygoers remained undeterred and took to the streets to usher in 2023. More than 100,000 people gathered in London for the fireworks display, which paid tribute to the late Queen. In Edinburgh, the world-famous Hogmanay Street Party attracted more than 30,000 partygoers to the city. It was the first time since 2019 that people gathered along the Thames embankment to watch the 12-minute firework display in London, which the city's mayor Sadiq Khan said was the biggest in Europe. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has told Russians that their leader is destroying their country. Speaking after Vladimir Putin delivered a New Year address flanked by people in military uniform, Mr. Zelensky said the Russian president was hiding behind his troops. Saturday saw a day of deadly strikes across Ukraine, and Zelensky said Ukrainians would not forgive Russia. At least one person died, and dozens were injured in the attacks. There were further missile strikes on Kiev just hours into the new year, on Sunday, officials said. There were no immediate reports of casualties. A watchdog is to investigate Twitter after a hacker claimed to have private details linked to more than 400 million accounts. The hacker Ayushi is demanding $200,000 to hand over the data, reported to include that of some celebrities. Ireland's Data Protection Commission says it will examine Twitter's compliance with data protection law in relation to that security issue. The data is said to include phone numbers and emails, including those belonging to celebrities and politicians, but the purported size of the haul is not confirmed. Only a small sample has so far been made public. The Guardian reported that data of U.S. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was included in the sample of data published by the hacker. Twitter has so far not responded to press inquiries about the claimed breach. And now the main points of the World News segment once again. Fireworks and street parties at cold weather as the UK celebrates the start of 2023. Zelensky tells Russians Putin is destroying you all. Twitter in data protection probe after 400 million user details up for sale.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
Amidst all challenges, we will rally around you and advance.
In the face of hardships, let's stand strong together.
Empowering you to reach greater heights. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News.
The remittances companies with more than 15 employees are instructed to pay their employees' trust funds, ETF, through an online system. The Minister of State for Finance, Ranjit Siambalapitiya, says the concept will be enacted according to a decision by the President as the Minister of Finance. The objectives of establishing an online system are to help secure the rights of the 2.8 million employees registered with the ETF and to ensure transparency along with smooth operations, he said. He added the initiative would ease their work while the ETF board intends to put a stop to all the drawbacks of the manual system.
Let us turn this difficult time that we are facing now to a positive opportunity. We must rise up as a nation in 2023. NSB will extend its fullest support for you to rise with confidence. NSB, the safest place for you.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Chocolate manufacturer Hershey's has been sued in the US over claims the firm is selling products containing harmful levels of metal. The lawsuit brought by Christopher Lazarzro alleges the firm misled consumers by failing to disclose the quantities of lead and cadmium in the 3 dark chocolate bars. He claimed he would not have purchased the products if he had been aware. Hershey's did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Some studies suggest that the antioxidants and relatively low levels of sugar in dark chocolate could help prevent heart disease. That was Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank.
Let us turn this difficult time that we are facing now to a positive opportunity. We must rise up as a nation in 2023. NSB will extend its fullest support for you to rise with confidence. NSB, the safest place for you.
And now in sports news, Sri Lanka Cricket has offered a 1-year extension to Mahela Jayawardene as consultant coach of Sri Lanka men's senior team. He will also serve as the men's under-19 and the Sri Lanka A team starting the 1st of January 2023. Jayawardene was roped in last year to be in charge of the overall cricketing element of the national teams and also to provide strategic support for players and the management teams at SLC's High Performance Centre. Mahela Jayawardene was part of the Sri Lanka men's senior team as a consultant for the first round of the T20 World Cup in 2021. At the time, he also worked as a consultant and mentor for the under-19 team, which has been preparing for the World Cup in the Caribbean in 2022. Mahela Jayawardene was also given a broader role at Mumbai Indians recently as the franchise's global head of performance. At the appointment, he is to oversee the coaching and scouting of all the 3 teams the franchise owners are now managing.
Economic News, courtesy of
LONC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LONC Finance claims the overall gold award, whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking.
The Agrarian Research and Training Institute says vegetables could be transported more cost-effectively by using the railway. Senior Research Officer of the Institute, Duminda Priyadarshana, said a trial was done last week to move a few plastic crates from Nanu Oya to the Fort railway station. He added fuel costs could be reduced and fresh produce could reach Colombo, and the idea should be extended to the Colombo, Kurunegala, Anuradhapura and other areas.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking. LOLC Finance will continue to innovate with the next generation digitalization of financial services, delivering a superior customer experience.
Weather report.
The Met Department says mainly fair weather will prevail over the island. Cold weather can be expected early in the morning. The sea areas off the coast extending from Mannar to Colombo via Puttalama and from Mathura to Pottuvil via Hambantota will be fairly rough at times. The other sea areas around the island will be slight. That was the weather report, and now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. The Prime Minister says the government is fully committed to support Dhamma school teachers. The main official ceremony to commence work for the year 2023 will be held at the Presidential Secretariat premises tomorrow. A haul of medicinal drugs brought to Sri Lanka illegally taken into possession. The government is to recruit 26,000 teachers in March. The National Water Supply and Drainage Board says a large number of consumers are not paying their bills on time. In foreign news, fireworks and street parties at cold weather as the UK celebrates the start of 2023. In sports news, Sri Lanka Cricket has offered a 1-year extension to Mahela Jayawardena as consultant coach. That concludes this news broadcast. You're with Radio Sri Lanka.